o'clock last night, I finished my 1,806th wedding. All right, so there are some things that I would like to, the major thing that I wanted to have happen is the fact that very often we are having couples that we interview, and the guy is coming in and he says, of course, he would like to have the ceremony finished in 5 minutes. All right, and you know, very often we do weddings when they come to the home and they visit us, and we do a regular wedding, which includes about 15 minutes of time. So even doing a home wedding. When we do home weddings, one of the basic things, when I first became a Justice of Peace in 1992, I knew nothing. It was a political appointment. I didn't know what I was doing, where to start, where to go. And if it hadn't been for this organization, I would never have turned out to be a decent Justice of the Peace. So that's pretty much what I want to tell you. Now, the wedding that I was going to do matches up very similar to some of the words are the same and so forth. But what I tried to do is to make sure that all couples do unique things in their weddings so that they are different than what the run-of-the-mill wedding is. You want to do something that is different. One of the things you saw, the wine box wedding that's done. So that can be done in many ways. It can incorporate many people, and it can go on for a lifetime. And part of the talking about the wedding, the letter ceremony, is the fact that it continues the process that you started on your wedding day. So some couples go for 1 year and open up their letters and have some wine. And the wine should increase in value and potency as you get older. I've learned that because I'm going to be 57 years that I've been married this year. So I can honestly say that. But the thing is, it is nice if they get in the habit, and I think the 5 year space of time in that, doing that, is to make sure that they rewrite a new letter at the end of the 5 years, and then put it away for another 5 years. And then so your marriage and your day becomes a lifetime. And that's primarily what that kind of a situation is. Now we talked about, and I was listening to somebody saying, who gives this woman in marriage? Well, that has progressed on further than that now. And that can be dynamic. One of the things that I have begun to do is when the bride comes down the aisle, meets her groom, I go up and say, who gives this couple in marriage? All right, and then usually it's both parents will answer, and sometimes if the brothers and sisters are sitting up front, they answer in response. So it brings the universality of the wedding marriage ceremony in effect at that time. Then what I do next is the normal kind of a thing, introduction, welcoming your guests, telling them how much you are happy that you are that they are here. And then when the bride comes in, naturally I look at the mothers of the bride and groom, and I give them a signal that at a certain point when the bride's coming down, I will simply tell them to stand, and then naturally everybody else will stand. After I've gone through my introduction, I will then stop and say, now everyone may be seated. Then the next thing I like to do is to incorporate as many family members into the ceremony. And one of the ways that I've done that is to ask, will the parents of this couple please stand? And they stand. And then I will ask, who gives this couple in marriage that we were talking before? And both sets of parents will say, we do. And then I will say, Mr. and Mrs. and Mr. and Mrs., are you willing now and always to support this and strengthen this marriage by upholding your son and daughter with your love and concern? And they will answer, we are. And you know, marriages are wonderful, but they are for parents as well as they are for the couple themselves. So that brings them into it. Now, the next thing that we do is a hand ceremony. And now I'm going to ask you guys to come up here. want you to stand in front of me, face each other, hold hands, all right? And we call this the hands of the bride and groom. How many of you have ever heard of this ceremony? Good, good. All right, and then Barbara, Manny, and Murray. Barbara and Murray, please face each other and hold hands so that you feel the gift that you are to one another. These are the hands that are holding yours on your wedding day, are the hands of your best friend, young and strong as as you promise to love each other today, tomorrow, and forever. These are the hands that will work alongside you as together you build your future. These are the hands that will passionately love you and cherish you through the years, and with the slightest touch will comfort you like no other. These are the hands that will hold you in fear and grief racks your mind. These are the hands that will countless time wipe the tears from your eyes, tears of sorrow and tears of joy. These are the hands that will help you to hold your family together. These are the hands that will tenderly hold your children. These are the hands that will give you strength when you most need it. And the clincher is, and lastly, these are the hands that even when wrinkled with age, will still be reaching for yours, still giving you the same unspoken tenderness with just a touch. Yes. Okay. Then we would go into the you're excused.
I'm excused.
And then I would go into to the exchange of vows. And now, talking about additional ceremony, have anybody here heard about the ring warming ceremony? All right. Well, the ring warming ceremony is something that's come into my purview just in the past year or so. And when I first did it, it was so moving for me that I incorporated it into my format when I send samples out to people. And a ring warming ceremony is the fact that it depends on the size of the wedding that's going to be. Because one time I tried it at the Wichita Harbor Club in Harwich, and we were halfway through the ceremony and the rings still hadn't come back. So we sort of modified it. And what happens is the best man will go to the family of the bride, and he will pass those, and they will pass those rings down that bridal party, and then he goes back to the groom's side of the family. And what happens is, this is the wording that goes with it. The ring warming is an opportunity to send the bride and groom good luck and love through a silent wish from you to them. What I ask the bride and groom's family is to hold the rings in your hands, pause for a moment, and make your wish for the future and pass it to the next person. Those of you who are friends may make a wish for the rings as they pass through the family. So even the entire congregation of guests can do the same thing. Then these rings will not only be a gift from one to the other, but will be given with the love, support, and the wisdom of all here present. Now there are 3 forms of that. If you go on the knot, you can find them. And they are very touching, and some of them include part of the bridal party and so forth. But those are kinds of things that you can do. All right, and then we have the exchange of rings. And then we have the officiating, calling them husband and wife. And what I like to end it with is, now the ceremony is over, and the experience of living day by day as married people is about to begin. Go forth and meet it gladly. Love life so that it will love you in return, and reward you both for your days, all your days upon this earth. And at that point, they kiss. All right, so what you try to do is to incorporate as many side ceremonies, and there are loads of them out there that can be used to enhance a ceremony. And it's not always talking and more talking, it's more actions. And the more people you can involve in the ceremony, the more the children will feel that their ceremony is complete. The one thing I have hated along the line is when I had dealt with couples when I first started out and they wanted a very short wedding. And you're leaving the wedding and somebody will say, boy, that didn't take any time. Then I feel as if I haven't done my job and instructing them as to what they should be doing. So that's why I stress 20 to 25 minutes from processional to recessional, but add all kinds of different components to your wedding. Not what has been done before and what you can invent. So those are my words for you today. I think the ceremonies that you've been exposed to are dynamic. Good luck and enjoy your time. And if you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer them. Any questions?